And joining us on the line right now is Brandon Millett, who is the president of the GI Film Festival and actually the co-founder of that event. Of course, it's Memorial Day, time for the festival, and we want to find out what's going on. Good morning to you, Brandon. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Doing great.
All
Thanks
right.
for having me on today.
Well, we're absolutely very pleased to have you on. Let's talk a little bit about how this all came to be. Tell me about the roots of this event that has become such an interesting and important part of our Memorial Day festivities here in Washington.
Sure, absolutely. Well, about 10 years ago, over coffee, my wife and I were having a conversation about how there were too many films coming out of Hollywood that were portraying GIs in a very negative light, portraying them as rapists and murderers and thugs and thieves. And Laura had served in the U.S. Army, a graduate of West Point, and she knew that these character portrayals didn't reflect the service members with whom she served. And I'd spent my career in PR, and this seemed like an image problem that could have some implications for national defense and security. So we decided to do something about it and to put together an event that focused on films that showed the honor and the courage and the selflessness of those who served. And it took on a life of its own from its very first year. And now we're heading into year 9. We have 65 films, more films than we've ever shown before, and greater diversity in our lineup. So we're excited to get going.
Wow. It's been referred to as a Full Metal Film Fest or Sundance for the troops, and I think it's kind of a cool thing. But are the movies? Is it just about portraying our troops in a more realistic and positive light, or are there also vets and members of the military who get behind the camera and put together projects on behalf of themselves?
That's a great question. It's actually both. Yes, we're interested in fostering a positive image for service. We're also interested in connecting service members to society. But there is this other element, too, and that's having more veteran filmmakers get into the industry so that they can create films that show GIs in a more accurate light. And so this year we've actually opened up the festival to veteran filmmakers, even if the film is not military-themed. And so this gives us a whole broad range of topics we can cover. So
right.
I think probably about 30% of our films are actually made by military veterans in some way.
Well, that's interesting. So tell me about some of the things that we'll be seeing if we are to attend some of the film festival.
Absolutely. Well, I mentioned the 60 films. We've also got celebrity meet and greets and red carpets and parties and workshops for veteran filmmakers. So I'll just point out a couple of highlights. Number one, you mentioned Full Metal Film Fest. I love that. That's a new term this year. But we're actually going to have Arlie Ermy, everyone's favorite gunny from Full Metal Jacket, rolling up to the red carpet in a World War II Jeep.
Well, the good news is you won't need a microphone for him if he's going to say a few words. I mean,
we will not.
No.
He's actually he's receiving our GI Choice Award this year, so that's
cool.
going to be on Saturday during our awards ceremony. But I'll just point out a couple of quick films for you guys.
Okay.
On Friday night, Kajaki, Cantonese film. This is a British film that was just nominated for the equivalent of a British Academy Award. It's sort of like The Lone Survivor meets The Hurt Locker.
Hang on, we have a little bit of that.
Oh, you do?
Got a man down! No, police has charged me. We're going nowhere. Moving impossible due to location being minefield. Get him out of here! You do not let that man drive! Come on, man, get over here! You're not dying today, yeah?
There you go. That sounds great.
It's fantastic. It's one of those films you watch through your hands, but you're really glad you saw it. And on Saturday, we have a film called War Pigs. If you like Expendables and action films, this is a ragtag unit of GIs who go behind enemy lines to fight the Nazis, and it stars Dolph Lundgren and Mickey Rourke and Luke Goss.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, Millionaires Unit. It's a documentary about a group of Yale grads who learned to fly on their own and then convinced the military to allow them to fly combat missions in World War I. They were the first to fly and first to die. That's air flying in World War I, and that's a documentary on Sunday.
Can I ask you, I mean, there seemed to be a string there where Hollywood was churning out films about the military. You just mentioned it, that always seemed to cast our troops in a negative light, that they were just either inept or they were corrupt. Or they were, bloodthirsty killers. But we saw, last year with American Sniper and that triumph, and clearly an American public who is thirsty for that kind of product. It seems like we've turned the corner a little bit. Is that your assessment as well of the industry?
Yeah, I think so. Everyone's acting, especially in Hollywood, that American Sniper came out of the blue and this is some new magic formula. But the fact is, every time Hollywood puts out a film where our guys are wearing the white hats, whether it's Saving Private Ryan or Black Hawk Down, or more recently, Lone Survivor and American Sniper, they always have a hit on their hands. And when they go the other direction, those movies flop at the box office. So we're very pleased. Hollywood now is scrambling for more American snipers, and what we say is just come to our event. We've got 65 great stories that would, some of which will make it to the big screen. Others are documentaries that should be turned into films that go on the big screen. So hopefully we have turned a corner, and in some way, hopefully the GI Film Festival has had something to do with that.
All right, so people are listening, and they say, man, that sounds like it's for me. How do they go about attending? How do they get tickets? And where is the event physically located?
Okay, well, they can go to GIFF15.com. That's GIF15.com. They can buy their tickets. All of our primetime events tend to sell out, so they should hop online today and do that. The events are going to be held from tonight all the way through Sunday at the Angelica Film Center in the beautiful Mosaic District in Fairfax, Virginia. So tonight we're starting with Way Back Wednesday. It's an interactive Casablanca screening, followed by a casino after party, and then we roll into the rest of our films all throughout the week.
Whoa. Hold on. Tell me about this Casablanca thing. Can we still get tickets to that? Because that's something I would show. I would even stay up late for that, and I don't stay up late for anything.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. What I mean by interactive screening is people are going to be able to live tweet during the movie their thoughts and their opinions about what's happening on screen. And then after that, we've created a little Rick's Place right there at the Angelica Film Center where people can go to the casino after party, funny money, and you can gamble and have a good time after the screening.
How many people will actually say, I'm shocked to discover that there's gambling here?
I don't know. I think people can have a great time. Again, It's a funny money thing, and the proceeds do go to benefit the GI Film Festival. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, and we really need the help of folks who think what we're doing is important, and so
cool.
That's one of the reasons for tonight.
And you're encouraging folks to dress in 1940s attire for that event?
Absolutely. I'm going to be doing it myself, and I'm not a guy who dresses up a lot like that, but I'm going to do it, and I think you're going to see a lot of other folks tonight sort of getting into the spirit of the time.
Listen, I understand an old friend of our show, Gary Sinise, who is also a hero to the troops, is also going to be in town for this?
Actually, yes. Gary was in town on Monday night.
Oh, on Monday.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, we hosted an event. We did a screening of the Doolittle Raiders, and we had one of the Doolittle Raiders with us, 99 years old, one of two, still living. And that was on Monday night. And Gary's been a big part of what we do. He's been to the majority of our events. He hosted our West Coast event. His foundation supports us. And he's an amazing human being.
Oh, and he's in town, of course, for the Memorial Day concert this Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's very cool.
Yeah. Well, listen, Brandon, we can't tell you how much we appreciate you joining us here this morning and how much we appreciate the fact that you have a GI Film Festival. And I would say, look, if you've never done it before, you should join. You should just go take a part of it. It really helps people remember a little bit in some small way, what Memorial Day is really about. And thank you so much for that.
Well, thank you for that, and thanks. And it's great to say thanks to the troops, and they appreciate it. But one great way to show your appreciation is to just come to their film festival, see their stories, meet them. We bring the real heroes into the room, and that's what makes us unique.
I like it. All right, thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.